Hello, and welcome back. I'm Jarvis. In our last lesson, we learned how to create tables, the foundational containers for our data. But an empty table is like an empty library, full of potential, but not very useful. Today, we're going to start filling those shelves. We'll learn the essential command for adding data, the insert into statement. Let's get started. By the end of this 15-minute session, you will be able to confidently use the insert into statement to add single and multiple rows of data. You'll understand why data types are so critical during insertion, and you'll know how to immediately verify that your data was added correctly using a simple select query. Let's break down the anatomy of an insert statement. It starts with the keywords insert into, followed by your table name. Then, in parentheses, you list the columns you want to populate. Finally, you use the values keyword, followed by a list of the actual data points in parentheses. The key is that the order of the values must perfectly match the order of the columns you listed. All right, let's switch over to SQL Server Management Studio. Here, we have our books table that we created previously. Let's add our very first book. I'll type insert into dbo.books. Then I'll explicitly list my columns: title, author, genre, published year, price. Now the values clause. For the title, The Hobbit, which is text, I'll use single quotes. Same for the author, J.R.R. Tolkien, and genre, fantasy. The year is a number, so 1937, no quotes. And the price, a decimal, let's say $14.99. I'll execute this, and we get one row affected. Success. But how do we know it really worked? We need to query the table. We'll use the simplest form of a select statement, which we'll cover in detail later. Just type select star from dbo.books. The asterisk means all columns. Let's run that. And there it is. Our first book, The Hobbit, is officially in our database. This is a crucial step. Always verify your data operations. Notice how we handled the values. Text data like the title and author went inside single quotes. This tells SQL Server, treat this as a string of characters. Numeric data, like the year and price, did not have quotes. If I tried to put text into the published year column, SQL Server would throw an error because the data type doesn't match. This enforcement of data types is what keeps our data clean and reliable. The most common mistake beginners make is mismatching the column and value order. If I listed the columns as title, author, but provided the values as J.R.R. Tolkien, The Hobbit, SQL would try to put the author's name in the title column. To prevent this, always explicitly list your columns in the insert statement. It makes your code self-documenting and saves you from frustrating errors. Inserting one row at a time is slow. Let's add two more books at once. The syntax is nearly identical. We start the same way: insert into dbo.books, title, author, genre, published year, price, values. But this time, after the first set of values, we add a comma and then a new set of values in parentheses. Let's add Dune and 1984. I'll type parentheses, Dune, comma, Frank Herbert, comma, sci-fi, dash 1965, comma, 16.50, parentheses, then, parentheses, 1984, comma, George Orwell, comma, dystopian, comma, 1949, comma, 12.00. Execute. 2 rows affected. Let's run our select star again to verify. And there they are, 3 books in our table. Think about this in a real-world context. Every time a new user signs up for a website or app, an insert statement is running in the background. Their username, hashed password, email, and creation date are all being added as a new row into a user's table. This is one of the most fundamental and frequently executed operations in any database-driven application. Now it's your turn to practice. Your task is to insert at least 5 different books into your books table. I want you to use a single row insert for the first book and then a multi-row insert for the next 4. This will solidify both techniques. Don't forget to run a select statement at the end to see all your new data. Pause the video now and give it a try. Great work! Let's quickly recap what we've covered. We learned the essential insert into value syntax for adding data. We saw how to add records one by one and how to do it more efficiently in a batch. We emphasized the critical importance of matching your values to the correct data types and column order. And finally, we established the habit of always verifying our work with a select query. You now have the power to create tables and to populate them. You're well on your way. In our next lesson, we'll complete our tour of fundamental data manipulation by learning how to modify existing data with the update statement and remove data with the delete statement. Thank you for your time today. I'm Jarvis, and I look forward to seeing you in the next session.